burst of speed.
Heisman Memorial Trophy.
Bryce Young.
Roll Tide and welcome to the Crimson Tide production studio inside of Bryant-Denny Stadium for another episode of Tide TV This Week. I'm Kinsey Hughes, joined by my co-host Seth Payne. Roll Tide, Seth. It's good to have you back, my man.
Hey, it's great to be back. It's great to witness the excitement that has been Alabama athletics. What a week it was, Kinsey, and it all started in Coleman Coliseum last Friday night.
That's right. The Gym Tide was really kicking it off, and it was an electric atmosphere between 11th-ranked Alabama and 6th-ranked Auburn. The meet was sold out for the first time since 2014, and it was also the Tide's Power of Pink match, an initiative started 19 years ago by former gymnastics coach Sarah Patterson to promote breast cancer awareness.
Alabama opened the meet on vault. Luisa Blanco, who had a huge night, led the Tide with a 9.95 as Alabama totaled a team total of 49.175. From there, the Tide's rotation scores got higher after each rotation. Alabama followed vault with a 49.325 on the uneven bars, led by a 9.95 from Makari Doggett.
The Tide shined on beam, tying their second highest total in program history with a 49.65. Luisa Blanco landed a perfect 10 for the Crimson Tide, the second in her career. Alabama closed out the meet with a 49.7 on the floor exercise, tying a program record there for the floor event. Lily Hudson and Luisa Blanco led Alabama with matching 9.975s.
Alabama earned their highest score of the season on both balance beam and floor exercise as the 11th-ranked Crimson Tide rolled to a 197.85 to 197.7 victory over number 6 Auburn.
It was amazing. I mean, just to see the work that we put in and out every day in the gym finally translate, it's awesome. The energy was indescribable. I like to joke and say, I black out in the moment, but it was truly like a core memory. I'll remember it forever, and yeah, I'm just really proud of my girls.
Bama's on fire. We're fighters. It was a fight the whole meet, and the crowd really carried us throughout the entire thing. The energy was insane, and we loved it. And so to just end that way was a memory I'll have forever.
Hey, Bama is on fire. It was a big win for Coach Johnson and the Crimson Tide, Seth. And did you know that Auburn has never beaten Alabama inside Coleman Coliseum? The Tide is 10-0 at home against the Tigers, and that's super impressive.
Wow, that really is impressive. And for more on the Tide's win over Auburn in their Power of Pink meet, our Delaney Jones joins us now along with Coach Johnston.
Excited to have you in the studio today with us, Coach Johnston. Last Friday night was a big night for this team. It was the Power of Pink meet. Coleman was sold out, and you were facing Auburn. Just how great was that atmosphere, and what impact did the fans have on the team?
Friday night was amazing. It's something that I've been really dreaming about since getting back on campus, is being able to walk into Coleman Coliseum and just see it sold out, see 13,000 people plus in the stands. It was truly unbelievable. Our student athletes loved it. I think our fans loved it, and overall it was a really amazing night.
The team has scored 10s in back-to-back weeks now. 2 weeks ago, it was Makari on uneven bars versus Kentucky, and last week it was Luisa on beam versus Auburn. Does that just show the progression of this team and the potential that each of these athletes have?
It definitely does. Our team has so much left in the tank still, and we've had some really great nights. I mean, Friday night being one of them, but there's a lot of things that went well, but there's still a lot of things that we can improve on, and a lot of things that in the gym they show that they're able to do even better. And so week by week, we're just trying to progress and build momentum and get to where we want to be during postseason.
Now, the team's floor score of 49.7 not only tied a program record, but is also the highest team floor score in the nation so far this season. What does that say about the energy that this floor lineup brings?
I think it says a lot about the energy the floor lineup brings, but it also says a lot about the energy that our fans brought. And that's really what I want to continue to remind our fans about, is that they make a difference. And in those final moments when we have close matchups, sometimes that's really what pushes our team over the edge and really just makes them want to perform big and do it for the crowd.
The team was behind heading into the second half of the meet, but they responded to that adversity by scoring season highs on both beam and floor. What was your message to the team in that moment, and how proud are you of the way they responded?
You know, the message has been just to pay attention to the details. You know, I think at times we get carried away with, you know, trying to win the meet. And it's really not about that. Like, that is the byproduct of just doing the right things along the way. So we were focused on winning the moment. And in the end, we're just able to perform lights out. So it was really cool to see, and I think that built a lot of confidence for us moving forward.
The team will be competing in the Metroplex Challenge this Saturday. Great competition will be there, and the meet is going to follow postseason format. How are you preparing the team, and how important is this preview of NCAA competition?
Yeah, our meet this weekend, it will feel a lot more like a championship setup. And so this is great preparation for us. There will be some additional environmental changes that we have to adapt to. The meet will be on podium. It will follow a different rotation order. We'll be starting on bars, but then ending on vault. And so there's a lot of different things that our team will have to adjust to. But again, that's what we'll have to do during the postseason as well. So we're focusing on the things that we can control and trying to practice how we step into those different environmental changes in the gym so that when we get to the meet, it's just no big deal. You know, we're able to adapt, we're able to have the right attitude and the right approach to control the things that we can control.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me today, Coach Johnston. Good luck Saturday, and roll Tide.
Thank you so much. Roll Tide.
Tide TV This Week is presented by the University of Alabama, where legends are made. Ford, for great offers on F-150, see your local Ford dealer. Proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide.
Welcome back to Tide TV This Week. It was a big week for the Alabama men's basketball team.
Yeah, it absolutely was. The Tide picked up a couple of wins, and athletics director Greg Byrne helped get a win for Alabama in general as he extended Coach Oates' contract for a few more seasons.
That he did.
Yeah, the new agreement will extend his current contract by 2 seasons to 6 years and keep him in charge of the Crimson Tide basketball program through 2029. The base salary and talent fee of $4.5 million for the current contract year will begin to rise in 2024 and increase annually throughout the length of the contract.
Extension done. Super excited. I didn't want to leave here. I've got a freshman. Lexi's a freshman here. Jassie's in 8th grade. Brielle's in 5th grade. They've moved enough. We wanted to be here. Greg's been a great boss to work for. Unbelievable. Dr. Bell's great president to work for, and board's been super supportive, you know, from FES all the way down. So we've wanted to stay here. We're having a successful season. It's great to have the players we have. It's extension's done. We're not going anywhere. Didn't want to go anywhere, so that just puts to rest all those rumors. Helps in recruiting. Helps bring some stability to the program, and we can get back to concentrating on basketball games and moving forward.
I'll tell you what, Seth, it is great to know that he is going to be leading the program for the next several years. Coach Oates has had the Tide in place to make their third consecutive appearance in the NCAA tournament, something that hasn't been done since 2004 through 2006.
Wow. Yeah, he's done a lot of great things so far, including this past weekend. Coach Oates and the Tide added to their resume with a big road win over LSU in Baton Rouge this past Saturday. The Tigers jumped on the Tide early on, claiming an 8-4 lead, but the Tide responded with a 15-3 run, with 8 of those coming from Namari Burnett, as Alabama took a 19-11 lead. Alabama led by as many as 10 in the first half, as the Tide led 44-37 at the break.
LSU battled back and cut the Tide's lead to just 2 on 3 separate occasions. With Alabama up just 2 with just over 13 minutes remaining, the Tide went on a 19-9 run, led by 12 at 75-62 with 7:20 to go in the game. From there, the Tide held on to win by 10 over the Tigers in Baton Rouge, 79-69.
Noah Clowney and Rylan Griffin led the Tide with 14 points apiece, while Mark Sears and Namari Burnett both finished with 13. Brandon Miller, who fought foul trouble most of the night, managed to earn his 5th double-double of the season with 11 points and 10 rebounds.
Just stacking stats up, and with that win, the Tide improved to 20-3 and 10-0 in the SEC, and that helped Alabama move back up in this week's top 25. The Tide climbed 1 spot to number 3 behind Purdue and Houston. The Tide did receive 1 first-place vote thanks to Bob Holt of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. The 3rd place ranking is the highest in program history this late in the season.
Hey there, Bob. Looks like you know a good team when you see it. Just like in the AP poll, the coaches have the Crimson Tide ranked 3rd. Bama is just behind Purdue and Houston and received 1 first-place vote from the coaches as well.
And the 3rd-ranked Tide returned home to face the Florida Gators in Coleman Coliseum on Wednesday night.
Yeah, an exciting matchup. A matchup against number 3 Alabama was the Gators' 3rd top 5 matchup in the last 2 weeks. Florida lost to number 5 Kansas State, but beat 2nd-ranked Tennessee by 13 just 1 week ago.
That one was a big win for the Gators, but Alabama started the game off hot, jumping out to a quick 10-2 lead just over 2 minutes into the game. Leading by just 6 at 17-11, Alabama used a 12-0 run to make it 29-11. Alabama took their biggest lead of the half on this 3 by Brandon Miller to put the Tide up 29 at 50-21. Alabama made more 3-pointers than Florida made from the field in the first half, as Bama made 9 threes compared to just 7 field goals for the Gators.
That's wild. Alabama led 52-23 at the half. In the second half, though, the Gators cut the Tide's lead to 17 at 59-42, but Florida wouldn't be able to get any closer. Huge 3 from Brandon Miller, and then the jam! Brandon Miller responded big for Alabama, and from there, Alabama led by as many as 30 as the Tide rolled big over the Gators, 97-69.
The win was Alabama's 3rd in a row over Florida, with the Tide winning those by an average of over 18 per game. Brandon Miller led the Tide in scoring for just the 13th time this season, as he finished with 24 points to go along with 9 rebounds.
Just seems to get better and better. Mark Sears, he had a very efficient night as well, as he shot 7 of 9 from the field and 4 of 6 from beyond the arc. Sears was 2nd on the team with 19 points. Javon Quinterly was the Tide's other double-digit scorer, as he finished with 11. Now on the defensive side, Charles Bediako had 4 blocks, while Nick Pringle had 2 to go along with 3 steals. That win improved Alabama's record to 21-3, the program's best start through 24 games since 1976.
I don't think either of us were alive at that time.
No, we were not.
Alabama also improved to a perfect 11-0 in SEC play, their best start since the famous Rocket 8 did it, and get this, way back in 1956.
Weren't alive then, that's for sure.
I can promise you that one. The Tide also improved to a perfect 12-0 in Coleman Coliseum, winning those 12 games by an average of almost 26 points a game.
Wow.
They know how to put them in the bucket. Talk about a home court advantage, right?
Yeah, a great home court advantage. Alabama will return to the hardwood this weekend as the 3rd-ranked Tide take on Auburn, and they will be on the road on Saturday at 1 o'clock. The game will be broadcast on ESPN, and College Game Day will be there as well.
You love to see an Iron Bowl.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. What else was exciting was Alabama women's basketball team. They got a career performance from one of their stars to lead them to a big road win over the Missouri Tigers this past weekend. We'll have the highlights coming up next.
Tide TV This Week is presented by Ford. For great offers on F-150, see your local Ford dealer. Proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide. The University of Alabama, where legends are made.
Try it again. Play up, play up in.
We need a huge crowd to pack Coleman Coliseum.
Davis with the spin on the layup. Right to the basket, lays it up, lays it in despite the contact. Spins around the paint, throws it up left side, layup up, layup in, count it, she's fouled. What? You better touch your mouth, girl. Ooh, stop it, Brittany. You know the man. What a moment for the Crimson Tide when they needed it the most.
Full in.
Wow.
All the work they've been putting in. Absolute great competitor. Just beautiful to watch from start to finish. Practice is paying off, and she knows it. Beautiful. It's going to be a big number. And sticks that landing. Beautiful landing. Oh my gosh. Perfect stop.
Welcome back to Tide TV This Week. Now the Alabama women's basketball team hit the road this past Sunday as the Tide traveled to Columbia to take on the Missouri Tigers.
That they did, and it was a rematch that Mizzou won by just a single point back on January 5th in Tuscaloosa, 66-65.
Yeah, and the Tigers jumped on the Tide early in this one, leading by as many as 8 in the first period, as Mizzou led 19-11 after 1. The Tigers led by as many as 9 in the second period as well, but the Tide battled back, closing out the half on an 8-2 run, with 6 of those being scored by Brittany Davis. Davis capped off the run with this putback at the buzzer, cutting the Tigers' lead to just 3 at the half, 30-27.
And you love it when people pick up the pace. Alabama opened the third with an 11-3 run to take a 5-point lead, 38-33. Moments later, a 7-0 run by the Tide gave Alabama their largest lead of the game at 9, 48-39. Alabama led at the end of 3, 51-47. Brittany Davis had a career-high 33 points as she scored 23 in the second half alone. Led by Davis, Alabama picked up a big win on the road over the Missouri Tigers, 76-69.
Great to see her have a big day when we needed it the most. She stepped up. You know, I thought our team did a really good job of getting her the ball. I mean, we were trying to get her isolated. We thought it was a mismatch. They went zone a couple times, and then Hannah hits a 3. You know, they couldn't guard her. And, you know, I thought she did a much better job in the third and the fourth of coming out and looking to, you know, you're most open when you first catch it. So her decision making in the third and the fourth was more aggressive. And, you know, if you've got the shot, take the shot. If you've got the drive, take the drive. She was able to get to the free throw line, finish some plays, hit some big finishes. So, you know, on a day where we were struggling to score at some other positions, I thought she just stepped up, and we knew we had some mismatches. They were having trouble guarding her. You could tell from their communication.
Coach Curry is right. They could not guard Brittany Davis. Great performance by her. Her 33 points were a career high, as she also added 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals in the win.
Another stat stuffer, and Hannah Barber finished with 13, while Aaliyah Knight added 10, and Sarah Ashley Barker had 8 points and 8 rebounds.
Yeah, that win improved Alabama's record to 17-6 overall and 6-4 in the SEC.
Climbing the ranks, and after taking on Kentucky on the road on Thursday night, Coach Curry's squad returns to Coleman to take on Auburn on Sunday at noon.
Yeah, the Alabama softball team, though, they're set to begin their season this weekend, and we go all access with the Crimson Tide baseball team. That and more coming up next right here on Tide TV This Week.
Putting in absolute great competitor. Just beautiful to watch from start to finish. Practice is paying off, and she knows it. Beautiful. It's going to be a big number. And sticks that landing. Beautiful landing. Oh my gosh. Perfect stop.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that is your ball. Swing, miss, ball game. Are you kidding me? Some noise at the Rhodes House. Sliding in around the tag is Dowling. Ashley Prangy. And Alabama takes the lead. That's well hit to center. Montana Fouts got her. Jenna Johnson.
welcome back to Tide TV This Week. Alabama men's tennis team was back at home this past Saturday as George Husak's squad hosted a doubleheader on Sunday.
Yeah, and the Tide dropped their first match of the season, a 7-0 decision to 19th-ranked Columbia.
But the Tide bounced back in the afternoon matchup of the doubleheader. The Tide picked up its 4th sweep and 6th win of the season with a 7-0 sweep of Jacksonville State.
What a bounce back there. Now, the Alabama men's golf team teed off their spring season this past week at the John Haidt Invitational in Ponte Verde, Florida. Alabama had 4 finish in the top 30 and 2 in the top 20, led by Cannon Claycomb, who finished 14th overall. As a team, Alabama finished 4th overall.
The Alabama softball team began the season this weekend as they host Lehigh and Georgia Southern for the Leadoff Classic on Friday and Saturday. Coach Murphy took a different approach in preparing for this season, and it looks to be paying off.
The semester ended like on a Friday in November because we had the entire Thanksgiving week off. So we decided to bring them back a little bit earlier because that would have been a huge layoff from November 18th to January 12th. So we got in a bunch of days where we did 3-a-days with no school going on. And I think it's really helped us because we're so far past what we were last year at this time. And hopefully it shows up on the field on Friday.
The Alabama baseball team has been hard at work preparing for this season as well, as Coach Bohannon's squad opened the season next weekend at the Joe with a 3-game series against Richmond starting on Friday.
Yeah, and as the Tide gets ready for that season opener, let's go all access out at practice with redshirt junior outfielder Andrew Pinckney.
Get up. What's up, Bama fans? I'm Andrew Pinckney with Alabama Baseball. I'm mic'd up today. You know that feeling when somebody's like staring at you? It's like that for like 2 hours. Yeah, it's not good.
That's what I feel. You have the mic.
I mean, he's right there, and you can feel it. Then you do that.
Hey, what's your approach?
My approach, you know, just filling up the gaps. So it's just what you do, just like the tank of gas. Son, I'm pretty sure the mic's here. You got to speak into the mic, son. I don't think he understands.
D, 3, 2, 1.
D. That was lame. Yeah, who's talking all day about how he's gonna come talk to me. Now he's camera shy.
You singing on the mic?
Bro, I'm not singing. They do not need to hear me sing.
You sing all the time.
I do not sing all the time. Yep, that's 450. What the dog do? Get him, Tommy. You got Grayson hits. That's left on left. What you gonna do?
Hopefully I hit it.
Hopefully I hit it.
Contact.
Great competitor, just beautiful to watch from start to finish. Practice is paying off, and she knows it. Beautiful. It's going to be a big number.
And sticks that landing.
Beautiful landing. Oh my gosh. Perfect stop.
Right again. Play up up. Play up in.
We need a huge crowd to pack Coleman Coliseum.
Davis with the spin on the layup. Right to the basket, lays it up, lays it in despite the contact. Spins around the paint, throws it up left side, layup up, layup in, count it, she's fouled. What? You better hush your mouth, girl.
Woo! Stop it, Brittany.
Round off 1.5, and she sticks the discount.
It is. It's a 10 for Luisa Blanco. Oh, man. Betty Yako again. A rampage at the rim. And off, curls, alley-oop, Clowney. Ward's triple is off wide and then off to the races. Ryland Griffin, takeoff and throw down.
From the corner. No, Davis there gets it. Right at the halftime buzzer.
Rejection by Bediako. Tied the other way. Miller! Tied with the ball, the lob to Pringle, and he caught it. He elevated. He looked down at it, and then he
Welcome back to Tide TV This Week. Those were our ATI Plays of the Week. Now let's take a look at our Players of the Week, brought to you by Legacy of Hope. Brittany Davis had a career-high 33 points, including 23 in the second half in the Tide's 76-69 road win over Mizzou. Davis connected on 13 of 21 shots from the floor, and she added 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals.
Definitely shooting lights out. And Luisa Blanco scored a perfect 10 on the balance beam in Alabama's win over Auburn. Blanco had an all-around total of 39.75 as she tied her career high on vault with a 9.95 along with her 10 on beam. Blanco recorded a 9.975 on floor, and she received at least one score of a 10 from a judge on all 3 events.
Extremely impressive.
Extremely impressive, and congratulations to her and our Legacy of Hope Players of the Week.
Yeah, and good luck to our former Crimson Tide players playing in this Sunday's Super Bowl.
That's right. Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, Josh Jobe, and Landon Dickerson will represent the Tide as they play in this weekend's Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hurts will become the 4th Crimson Tide quarterback to start a Super Bowl, joining greats like Bart Starr, Joe Namath, and Kenny Stabler. All 3 of those won Super Bowls, so maybe Jalen Hurts will join them as Super Bowl champions.
That's right, and a win by Hurts and the Eagles will give Alabama 4 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. Count them, 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be the most by any school in NFL history. Wow, we'll be pulling for Jalen and the rest of the Tide on Sunday.
Yeah, we absolutely will be. Now, what is your favorite Super Bowl snack?
Super Bowl snack? Probably like peanut butter pretzels, maybe some queso dip.
I just go nachos or wings. Wow.
Solid.
We hope you enjoyed it. We look forward to seeing you back here next week for another episode of Tide TV This Week.
That's right. See you next week, and roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
This has been a presentation from Learfield,